So you decided that you want to become a professional trader. You want to be successful at this. You want to learn how to make consistent profits. You probably started off by being a scalper. You probably followed some guru who taught you how to scalp. And you probably really enjoyed that. It's quite intense. You probably sat in front of a screen or in front of your phone, in, out, taking money, maybe doing dozens of trades every day. But eventually you'll have realized that that isn't something that you can do in the long term. Scalping is too intense. It requires too much focus. So you decided to learn about financial markets. How do they work? How do they move? You probably got quite obsessed with it. Trading has to really be an obsession if you want to be successful at it, because it does require so much focus and energy. And if you've got to that stage where you've decided to move on to the next level, how do I actually become a professional trader? How do I actually build a strategy? When you first started and you were scalping, you didn't realize that you had to actually build a strategy. You can't just trade randomly and spontaneously in order to make consistent profits. You actually have to develop a strategy of how to tackle the markets, how to deal with them, how to understand, is the market trending, how to understand how markets move and what strategy you're going to employ to take advantage of those movements. And different strategies work in different conditions. So a trend following strategy, you're looking for markets that are either moving up or moving down. A scalpel strategy, you're basically looking for markets that are moving sideways in a consolidation or a channel or a triangle or a pennant, some sort of sideways consolidation pattern. But anyway, if you've got to that stage now where you're ready to move on, people come to me at this stage and say, right, I want to get serious. I really don't know what the stage is. I'm going to tell you now what you need to do. The first thing you need to do is devise an entry strategy. How am I going to actually enter a trade according to a criteria so I can repeat that success? So you need to have an entry strategy in order to do that. So you know what you're looking for. You know you're looking for a specific setup. You're not just jumping in because you think it might go up and hope for the best. I use technical analysis to identify low-risk trade opportunities. And there are many different techniques. Technical analysis alone will take you months to experiment with because there are so many different tools and indicators and so many different approaches. So that alone will take you months to figure out what works for you. You'll start by throwing everything at your chart. You'll just litter it with all sorts of indicators and oscillators and trend lines and moving averages. And then slowly you'll cut it back when you realize you just can't see the wood for the trees with how much information is on your chart. It's analysis paralysis, where every single price on your chart looks like a trade opportunity. Then you'll start to scale it back. You'll start to remove stuff that doesn't work. And finally, you'll come up with something that looks a lot more simple on a chart and something where you can actually identify, okay, here, this could be a point where the market might reverse. I'm going to try buying it here. And if I'm wrong, I've got a stop loss strategy. And if I'm right, I've got an exit strategy where I'm going to manage the position and take my profit. Once you've got to that stage, you're not even halfway to becoming a professional trader. You then need to figure out how you're going to manage the trade, manage your risk, manage your accounts. All of these are really important so that you don't blow a big hole in your account and that you build your profit steadily. That's stage 2 for me. You're still not ready to be a full-time professional trader who's making consistent profits. You then have to go through the whole psychology of trading, because no matter how good you are at your technical analysis, no matter how good you are at identifying low-risk trade opportunities and managing the trade and making sure that you don't take too much risk and that you manage your account and that you don't overtrade, you then have to tackle things that will come into your head like FOMO, fear of missing out, revenge trading, overtrading and undertrading, not having the confidence to execute a trade when you've been through 2 or 3 losses. This is all about trading psychology and learning how to deal with those emotions, deal with the negative thoughts, deal with the panic, the anxiety, the overconfidence as well. And that feeling that you've mastered it, because as soon as you do that, the market will teach you very quickly that you don't. So there are so many stages and so many different parts of building successful strategy and managing it and controlling yourself in order to become consistently profitable. If you want more advice on how to do that, please post a question in the comments and I'll try and help you move forward on that whole process. But what I'm trying to say to you is don't rush into this. There is an awful lot of work to do. Trading is simply a case of opening an account, putting £500 in and then building that up slowly. There is so much work to do. This is why 90% of traders actually failed. Okay, I hope you found this useful. If you have, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget, give me your questions and comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.